It took a long day of hiking to reach the Sylvani village. They were overjoyed to see us and wanted to have a party. I didn't feel like celebrating. When I asked if we could sleep in the Grove of Dreams again, Faunus assured me that everything they had was at our disposal. The tree nymphs brought me a small dinner and left me alone in one of their cottages until nightfall. Kishan understood that I wanted to be alone, and he ate with the Sylvani. When evening came, Kishan returned with a visitor.
I want you to meet someone else.
He held the hand of a small, silver-haired toddler. Who's this?
Can you tell the pretty lady your name?
Rock,
the boy replied. Your name is Rock? I asked. The sweet baby face grinned at me. Kishan said,
Actually, his name is Tarak.
Tarak? I gasped. That's impossible. He looks like he's almost 2. Kishan shrugged.
Apparently, the Sylvani mature quickly.
Amazing. Tarak, come here and let me take a look at you. I held out my arms, and Kishan encouraged him forward. Tarak took a few clumsy steps toward me before falling into my lap. You're such a big boy now, and so handsome, too. Would you like to play? Watch this. I took the scarf from around my neck, and we watched the kaleidoscope of colors shift and change. When the baby touched it, a tiny handprint of hot pink appeared on the fabric before disappearing in a swirl of yellow. Stuffed animals, please. The fabric shifted, divided, and turned into stuffed animals of every kind. Kishan sat beside me, and we played with Tarak in the stuffed animal parade. The sting in my heart lessened as I laughed with the young Sylvani child. When Kishan picked up the stuffed tiger and taught Tarak the proper way to growl, he looked up at me. Our eyes met, and he winked. I grabbed his hand, squeezed it, and mouthed, "Thank you." Kishan kissed my fingers, smiled, and said,
Aunt Kelsey needs to get some sleep. It's time to take you back to your family, little man.
He scooped up Tarak, placed him on his shoulders, and said quietly,
I'll be right back.
I gathered the stuffed animals and told the scarf we didn't need them anymore. Threads began spinning in the air and wove themselves back to form. Just as it finished, Kishan returned. He crouched down, cupped my chin, and tilted my face up for his perusal.
Kelsey, you're exhausted. The Sylvani have prepared a bath for you. Go soak for a while before you sleep. I'll meet you in the grove, okay?
I nodded, and let the same 3 Sylvani women lead me back to the bathing area. They were quiet this time, leaving me to my thoughts as they gently soaped my hair and rubbed scented lotion into my skin. They dressed me in a spun silk robe before an orange-winged fairy guided me to the Grove of Dreams. Kishan was already there and had taken the liberty of creating a hammock with the divine scarf. I mocked gently. Not interested in sharing the honeymoon suite again, I see. His back was turned toward me as he tested a knot of the hammock.
I just thought it would be better to.
He turned around and gave me a potent, steamy look. His golden eyes widened, and he quickly busied himself with knots again. Clearing his throat, he said,
It's definitely better for you to sleep by yourself this time, Kels. I'll be comfortable over here.
I shivered and tried to pretend Kishan's gaze hadn't affected me. Suit yourself. Kishan got into his hammock, laying back with his hands behind his head. He watched me as I pulled back the sheets. I heard him say softly,
You look really beautiful, by the way.
I turned toward him, lifted an arm, and ran my hand down the blue silk robe with long fairy sleeves. I knew that my hair hung down in supple waves, and my pale skin gleamed from a vigorous scrubbing and the sparkling lotions of the Sylvaney. Perhaps I did look beautiful, but I felt hollow, as empty as a plastic Easter egg. Colorfully, perhaps even elaborately decorated on the outside, but there was nothing in my center. I was drained to the core. "Thank you," I said mechanically as I climbed into the bed. I lay awake staring at the stars for a long time. I could feel Kishan's eyes on me as I tucked a hand under my cheek and finally drifted to sleep. I dreamt of nothing. Not of Wren, not of myself, not Kishan, or even Mr. Kadam. I dreamed of emptiness. A great blackness filled my mind, a void. A space with no shape, no depth, no richness, and no happiness. I woke before Kishan. Without Wren, my life meant nothing. It was empty, hollow, and worthless. That was what the Grove of Dreams was trying to tell me. Too much was gone. When my parents died, it was like two mighty trees had been uprooted. Wren had come into my life and had filled the empty landscape of my heart. My heart had healed, and the dry ground had been replaced by soft grass, lovely sandalwood trees, climbing jasmine and roses. Right in the center of everything was a water fountain surrounded by tiger lilies, a beautiful place where I could sit and feel warmth and peace and love. Now the fountain was shattered. The lilies uprooted, the trees toppled, and there just wasn't enough soil left to grow anything else. I was barren, desolate. A desert incapable of sustaining life. A soft breeze stirred my hair and blew strands of it across my face. I didn't bother pushing them aside. I didn't hear Kishan get up. I just felt his fingertips brush against my face as he lifted the strands from my cheek and tucked them behind an ear.
"Kelsey."
I didn't respond. My unblinking eyes stared at the brightening dawn sky.
"Kels?"
He slid his hands under my body and picked me up. Then he sat on the bed and hugged me to his chest.
"Kelsey, please say something. Talk to me. I can't stand to see you like this."
He rocked me for a while. I could hear him and respond to him in my mind, but I felt detached from my environment, from my body. I felt a raindrop hit my cheek, and the shock of it woke me, brought me to the surface. I lifted a hand and brushed the drop away. "Is it raining? I didn't think it rained here." He didn't answer. Another drop splashed on my forehead. "Kishan?" I looked at him and realized it wasn't rain, but tears. His golden eyes were full of watery tears. Puzzled, I lifted a hand to his cheek. "Kishan, why are you crying?" He smiled weakly.
"I thought you were lost, Kels."
"Oh."
"Tell me, what did you see to take you so far away from me? Did you see Wren?"
"No, I saw nothing. My dreams were filled with cold blackness. I think it means he's dead."
"No, I don't think so, Kels. I saw Wren in my dreams."
Vitality surged back into my limbs. "You saw him? Are you sure?"
"Yes. We were arguing on a boat, actually."
"Could it be a dream from the past?"
"No. We were on a modern yacht, In fact, it's the yacht that belongs to us.
I sat up straighter. Are you absolutely 100% certain that this happens in the future?
I'm sure.
I hugged him and kissed his cheeks and forehead. I punctuated each kiss with thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wait, Kels. The thing is, in the dream, we were arguing about...
I laughed, grabbed his shirt, and shook him lightly, crazed with giddy relief. He was alive. I don't care what you were arguing about. You two always argue.
But I think I should tell you.
I hopped off his lap and began moving quickly, gathering our things. Tell me later. There's no time now. Let's get going. What are we waiting for? Tiger needs to be rescued. Come on. Come on. I darted around with crazed energy. A desperate, fevered determination filled my mind. Every minute we delayed meant more pain for the one I loved. The dream of Ren had been real. I wouldn't have thought up new words in Hindi by myself, especially an endearment his father had used for his mother. I had been with him somehow. I had touched him, kissed him. Something had broken our connection, but he was still alive. He could be saved. In fact, he would be saved. Kishan had seen the future. The Sylvani prepared a sumptuous breakfast, but we took it to go, hurried through goodbyes, and headed back toward the Spirit Gate. It took 2 days of fast hiking to get to the gate following the directions the Sylvani had given us. Kishan said very little on the trip, and I was too wrapped up in thoughts of finding Ren to find out why. Upon reaching the gate, I asked the Divine Scarf to create new winter gear for us, and after changing, I summoned my lightning power and placed my hand in the carved depression on the side of the gate. My skin glowed, becoming translucent and pink as the gateway shimmered and opened. We looked at each other, and I suddenly felt sad, as if we were saying goodbye. Kishan removed his glove and pressed a warm palm to my cheek as he studied my face soberly. I smiled and hugged him. I'd meant it to be brief, but he wrapped his arms around me and hugged me tightly. I disentangled myself ungracefully, replaced my glove, and stepped through the gate into a sunny day on Mount Everest. My winter boots crunched on the white sparkling snow as Kishan stepped through and changed into the black tiger.